Honestly.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Nobody has better toys than I do.
There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Nobody loves the Bible than I do. Nobody builds walls better than me.
Nobody's better to people with disabilities than me.
Nobody's fighting for the veterans like I'm fighting for the veterans.
There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
There's nobody more pro-Israel than I am.
There's nobody more conservative than me. There is nobody that respects women more than I do.
Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump.
Because nobody's ever had crowds like Trump has had.
There's nobody that understands the horror of nuclear better than me. And nobody even understands it but me. It's called devaluation. The sale of the uranium that nobody knows what it means. I know what it means.
Nobody knows more about trade than me.
Nobody knows the game better than I do.
Nobody's in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump.
I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me.
Nobody knows politicians better than I do.
Nobody knows more about taxes than I do.
Nobody knows more about debt than I do.
Nobody knows the system better than me.
So one thing we can learn from that is nobody does it better than Donald.
And nobody has a higher opinion of Donald Trump than Donald Trump.
Right.
That guy's ego's big as all outdoors.
And this was just some of the light stuff, but I've heard many boasts, from Donald Trump himself out of his mouth, and many ways that he's been able to manipulate the situation, which I get as a president. A lot of them do that. He's the first that I've seen boast in the way that he boasts. And to me, it's just an interesting insight into that. I think that, we can't be ignored, the boasting activity. Also, I'm just going to say this. We don't have to mention more about it, but Operation Warp Speed, Palandine, there's a lot of policies that are kind of scary there, guys, if we're being honest. So,
Yes, sir.
All right. So John 5:43, I am come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. Another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. Now, that's one thing I've noticed about Trump. His name is one of the most well-known names in the world, especially right now and especially during the election. Even before that, he was topping the charts with his TV shows. His name is on every tower. He makes sure to put his symbolism on everything in the world. And we'll find out a little bit more about some of the places that he's been allowed to have his symbolism at as well. David, do you want to say anything about that before I go to this? This is a video of Alex Jones saying that he thinks that Donald Trump might be the Antichrist. I don't know. And if he was controlled opposition, he didn't know it. He got sucked in. So I wanted to put this on here, and I think he had the right